What's up everyone, welcome to another video. Today we are going to be ranking rappers and artists overall based on their ability to create decent album rollouts. Album rollouts in this day and age might not be as important as they were before. Different artists have different ways of releasing new music. If you are big enough, all you need is a single tweet or post to get people hyped for your next album. But every now and then, some artists go out of their way. They really make the effort to put out something to create an experience that not only adds to the album, but adds to the overall experience of the album. So today I've got about 8 or 9 artists to kick off this tier, and if it goes well, we might as well continue. Alright, enough talk, let's dive right in. But before we get to the rappers, let me explain the 5 tiers we've got. At dead last, the bad tier. This tier is for artists who will do anything to market an album. For instance, rappers who get into random beefs, probably drop a diss track and then announce their album a week later. Next, the standard tier. This tier is for rappers who go through standard procedures, a couple of tweets here and there, IG posts, a bunch of interviews, etc. The great tier. This is reserved for rappers who go beyond the basic stuff, and they are known for dropping really impressive freestyles as well. So stuff like that. The elite tier of album rollouts are those that are almost unpredictable, and they obviously have an amazing album to boot as well. They give you the lure, the exposure, the experience. You become more experienced in the album than you'd have been otherwise. And the goated tier is for the cream of the crop, the best of the best. Even if you're not a fan of this artist, you can be interested in their album rollouts and just appreciate the art in general. And keep in mind, you've already been promised a great album, and a good number of the time they deliver on that promise as well. So for the first rapper on this list, let's do Tyler the Creator. As for me, anything before Flower Boy doesn't count. Even Flower Boy's rollout was pretty basic, to be honest, but Igor on the other hand, Igor was a masterpiece. Not just the album, but the album rollout as well. There were mannequins of Tyler the Creator in the pink suit and the blonde wig all over the place. I'm certain that once anyone sees a pink suit and a blonde wig, you wouldn't need to be told who that is. And if Igor doesn't convince you, call me if you get lost. Tyler had billboards to promote the album, which would seem pretty basic, but on those billboards he had a number there, and when you dialed the number, you would get connected to a jingle from Call Me If You Get Lost. But at some point, Tyler actually picked up the phone. Tyler picked up the phone. If I called and Tyler picked up the phone, I would lose my shit, to be honest. These were his most notable albums, and I was tempted to put him in the goated tier, but I think elite seems fair, so he goes into the elite tier. Next, Kendrick Lamar. Something I should have mentioned during Tyler the Creator's set is that nothing builds hype for an upcoming album like the previous album. But nobody has this advantage like Kendrick Lamar. The same way Igor built hype for Call Me If You Get Lost, we've seen this multiple times with Kendrick. Good Kid Mad City built hype for To Pimp a Butterfly, and Tipa built hype for Damn. And in turn, Damn built hype for Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Kendrick Lamar doesn't really do much personally, and that's proof that you don't have to go overboard when good music speaks for itself. There will always be hype for a new Kendrick Lamar album. We saw this with the Heart Part 4 and the Heart Part 5, and I really hope we get the actual Heart Part 6, regardless of Drake's disrespect for such an amazing series. There are no extravagant activities going on with Kendrick's album rollout, to be honest, but regardless, he deserves nothing less than an elite tier. Next, Childish Gambino. Donald Glover goes in the great tier. There's nothing really wrong with his album rollout, to be honest. The rollout for Because the Internet was way ahead of its time. He wore the same outfit for every interview, he sat cross-legged for almost all of his pictures. There were short films as well, and to me that was his most notable rollout. And even with Awaken My Love and this guy, he's doing pretty great when it comes to album rollouts. So apart from them being great albums, nothing really popped. So okay, I guess. Lil Nas X. Lil Nas has the most clickbaity album rollout of all time. From being pregnant to giving Satan a lap dance to singing about Jesus Christ. People now know that he has no real interest in creating an album experience that's worthwhile, at least when it comes to the rollout. So it's just pure gimmicks and they're bad. Next, The Weeknd. The Weeknd's album is goated, to be honest. From After Hours to Dawn FM, he just knows how to create the right amount of curiosity. He wore the same suit for almost a year, showed up at award shows with bruises and bandages all over his face, and delivered great epic music to boot as well. There's a certain theme to all of his albums you just have to appreciate. From Starboy to After Hours to Dawn FM, The Weeknd's album rollouts are goated. Kanye West. No one does album rollouts like Kanye, to be honest. For Jesus is King, we had the Sunday service for like 10 weeks straight. For graduation, we had the healthy back and forth with 50 Cent, and people supported Kanye because as of the time, he was the underdog. And who doesn't love a great underdog story? For Ye, he gave us the Wyoming sessions. For My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, he gave us the Good Friday series. For The Life of Pablo, he started off with a notepad, and then the notepad became inked with signatures from different artists. And don't even get me started on the premiere of the album. Lil Yachty and Young Thug modeling, while Kanye, Pusha T and Kid Cudi jammed to Further Stretch My Hand. And for done that, every time we had a listening party, people got hyped for the next one. Kanye is in a league of his own when it comes to album rollouts, and he's definitely at the top of the list for goated album rollouts in my opinion. Plus, this is me underplaying the effort Kanye puts into making these albums happen. Next, Frank Ocean. Frank has this very nasty habit of starving his fans, and that's just sick. I mean, it's become his MO at this point. I guess you could call Endless the album rollout for Blonde. Frank's album strategy is to starve fans until they become crackheads, literally sniffing for new music. At least he gives us great songs to boot. For that, he goes in the great tier. The Game. Especially for his last album, the rollout was just bad. Bro featured 50% of hip hop on the album and then dissed Eminem and still sold 30k first week. It was just bad. Travis Scott. Travis mastered the art of album rollouts from Astroworld. He started hyping up the album, which was his third album, before he released his second album. And indeed, Astroworld lived up to the hype. The experience, the concerts, the album, everything that came with the album was a spectacle. And he solidified this with Utopia as well. The 5-year wait plus the controversy, the short films, the release of multiple album covers, Circus Maximus, and then the album. Travis has a catalogue of elite album rollouts. And last but certainly not least, J. Cole's album rollouts are my favorite because, much like these other artists, he does the most as well. The freestyles, the tweets, and most notably, the documentary. The fact that he releases multiple documentaries for each album gives me butterflies. For Your Eyes Only, we had For Your Eyes Only and Eyes. KOD was a surprise album. For the off-season, we had the off-season and Applying Pressure. And even some of Dreamville's projects have documentaries as well. And they are quality videos, I might add, each different from the last one. Might Delete Later, both Volume 1 and Volume 2 hit harder than some of the songs on the actual mixtape. J. Cole's album rollouts to me are goated. Alright, that's all for today. Let me know what you think. What rapper should be considered? Also, please like and subscribe if at some point you thought about it. And thank you for watching. Catch you in the next one. Peace.